I would love to learn a little bit more about the local roots. So if you could speak to that a little bit for me, that'd be great.
Yeah, so we're located in Southwest Philadelphia. We have probably about 250 kids who qualify for bus and van. So there, that's an indicator of how far they have to come out. You have to be at least 1.5 miles away to qualify for bus. Philly is a very neighborhood centered city. I grew up not too far from the school, and at least then you kind of just know your neighborhood, right? You don't necessarily venture out to other places in the city. And so it's nice to have kids come from all over.
Yeah, I think it speaks volumes that, they're looking for a good school, and your school is the one that they come to, even if they're outside of the normal jurisdiction.
But diverse in terms of the strengths and challenges that our students come with. Their family makeup is different. Where our kids come from, is very diverse, and it shapes how we support our students and their families. And we are very much, we're a neighborhood school in terms of students who are in our catchment area. They have priority. But we have students who come as far as North Philly or Germantown, Mount Airy, South Philly. So we still pull from lots of different neighborhoods in the city of Philadelphia, but most of our kids come from the neighborhood, so I tell people it's a little bit of a different thing. The work that we're doing now is kind of behind the scenes. In terms of our larger school community, they are not, let's say it's tied to this process or connected to this process, right? Okay. So when we talk about messaging, and when we talk about the rebranding process and changing our model and our name, those have been things where we share what's needed, and we try to include people in the process in a way that's manageable for them, not overwhelming people with too much stuff. So the website, the rebranding, that's just one part of it. And when we talk about, again, the messaging, a lot of things happen internally in different ways that are different than what we share with the outside community, external partners. It's interesting when we're talking about the website in one of our last meetings, we were talking about the audience for the website. The audience is not my parents, right? It's not my team. They are not going to the website. And that's just the way we're organized, right? So we're not organized in a way where the website is the space where folks who are already in our school community are getting information. It really is more that outward facing to folks who are interested in learning who we are. That's the important piece. So you go in there now and you're kind of oh, it's very old. Those kids don't even go to the school anymore. The staff doesn't work there. It doesn't reflect, who we're moving to. Now, people who are inside our school community, we use Dojo, which is you have invitation only, right? We share a lot of information about what's happening in the school community there. That's where our parents stay plugged in. And they are more invested in the day-to-day work, not so much of what are we planning for in the future.
I have an 8-year-old that goes to school every year. We use Dojo, so I'm very familiar with understanding why the parents would go to Dojo versus the website. It makes sense. And for external parties to be the ones that are looking at the website and understanding the branding and how it works. So thank you for that clarity.
Yep.
Okay, during high pressure moments, what made you trust the direction rather than second guessing the decisions?
When you talk about major decisions and how that impacts others, that's the messaging is important. So when I talk about our parents, our families who are enrolled, they trust us to do certain things, right?
Yeah.
And they compare us to, their neighborhood choice or some other charter that they could have enrolled in. And so those are the things we think about when we make those decisions. How does it impact the people who are trusting us to take care of their kids every day?
Yes, most definitely. That's important.
And we're still establishing some things that might feel like, oh man, are we reinventing the wheel, or are we going about this in a way that there's an easier way to do it? Because I just had a meeting with the team yesterday about new changes. We're going to split our school into a lower and upper school model. We're going to have a K-3 and a 4-8 model next year. And we're doing it for some very practical reasons, an attempt to set teachers and admin up for more success in terms of narrowing the scope of their work, and making sure that they can be present, like literally in the same building with their teachers and students. But here we are again, right? We're changing again. And so I think there's some benefits to being a single site charter. We have a lot of autonomy, and we can make adjustments very quickly. We don't have to go through all the levels of bureaucracy and check this person and this person. But where we are has been probably felt very inconsistent and not stable, and we're still establishing some things that might feel like, oh man, are we reinventing the wheel, or are we going about this in a way that there's an easier way to do it, because we're a smaller organization. And when you're a small organization, each individual is even more important, because you think about if that person is not there, who has that information, right? Or who knows how to handle that process.
Enjoyed this dialogue? We did too. Follow the Creative Repute Unmistakable podcast for more powerful and interesting conversations like this one. And don't forget to hit that share button.